Where are all the good men? Where do I find a good man like yours? I get this question all the time, and I'm not even trying to flex in my videos when I'm bragging about my man, because I was quite literally in the trenches with these women that asked me, where are the good men? So I get how incredulous you can become in just thinking there are no good men out there. And I would be lying if I said that you don't have to weed through a lot of dusties, kiss a lot of frogs to find a good man. However, I am going to say that good men are out there. And like I've always said over and over again, it is all about you saying no to what isn't for you quickly that calls in a good man. When you do that, you are quite literally allowing the cream to rise to the top, and you are only attracting and dating and bringing in good men. It's all in your ability to say no. And that's really hard to do as a woman, because we've been taught that all of our value and worth is in being chosen. And so many of us have hoes in our phone that are blowing us up just so that we can get that little hit of dopamine. But you have to be okay not having those dopamine hits anymore and those boosts to your ego. And you need to be okay by yourself and say no quickly and concisely to what isn't for you. Did I mention you have to get really clear on what is for you? If you're an awakened woman like me and you've done your healing work, you want a man that is the same. You want a man who knows his shadows, who knows his light, who understands who he is, what his needs are. He can articulate what those needs are, and he is welcoming and expecting you to articulate your needs to him so that he can meet them. That is what I wanted in an awakened divine partnership. So I want to say to the women who are like, where are the good men? Don't be out here looking for an awakened man who has all the spiritual jargon, who even knows what a divine union is, because that's unrealistic. Do you know what you're going to find? This is what I found. A man who does not have all the spiritual lingo. He may not even know that he's just gone through a healing journey. My man had gotten out of a long marriage, was going through a divorce. It had been a few years since his divorce, and he was doing a lot of introspection. He was spending time alone. He was going to the beach by himself. He had cultivated hobbies that were his own hobbies. And on top of that, he was a really, really good communicator. So when I saw that, I thought, I subconsciously knew that this was the ingredients of an awakened man. And I knew that because even though he didn't know the spiritual jargon and he didn't even know he had gone through a healing journey, his journey looked very similar to mine in that he was okay alone. He had spent that time being alone, looking at himself, being introspective, being self-aware about issues he may have brought into his past relationships that didn't work out. He was the first one to admit what those were when we were early dating. And he was okay by himself. He made good use of that alone time. And then it was like cracking open a shell in a beautiful plant or flower growing from that seed. Because once he met me, I was the catalyst for his greatest awakening and transformation. And he will say this all the time. He needed my love and my nurturing and my light, quite literally my energy, to tap into his highest, most authentic self. Most men, I would say 95% of men on this earth, need a good feminine energy to do just that. They are ready for it. They crave it. They want it. They have done the baseline work to be ready for it. And then once they meet that woman, bam, it is like magic. They blossom. They become more themselves. They become more emotional. They become more vulnerable. And it's from the love of a good woman who has done that herself.